Um, Thank you, Ms. Primrose, for those remarks. To take you back a little, I want to introduce MentorPoint Africa initiative to you all. It's an initiative for young leaders, and our main objectives are actually fostering shared learning and joint working and co-development. You realize that Africa has the youngest population. Therefore, it has the potential to become the center for innovations and technology. But despite all this, we have a lot of unemployment, underdevelopment to the moment. So I won't reintroduce the speakers today, but there's a glitch in the program. We were supposed to start with Dr. Solomon, but let's start with Mr. Geoffrey Semaganda. Mr. Geoffrey, if you're there, please.
I'm here, if you can hear me. Basically, I'm here. I'm not 100% sure. What am I supposed to say? However, Primrose, we're going back a long way. I met Primrose, oh my goodness, it's got to be Primrose about 25 years ago, something on those lines. And young lady, and we've grown up together. I like the session when you say young people. I don't call myself a young person anymore. I've got a 22-year-old daughter, so I don't call myself a young person anymore. However, I would say one thing though. I'm from Uganda. My name is Geoffrey Semaganda. That's one thing you can't really hide from. Doesn't matter where you are. I left Uganda. Did I really leave? I do come back every now and then, but I grew up in a place called Weru, not far from Kampala. For those of you Ugandans, of course, you know. But I was lucky. I grew up during the 70s war. So I learned to make a profit when I was 7, 8 years old. My dad used to tell me that be useful because he was concerned that if the soldier catches boys like me, he said, if you're useful, they don't kill you first, and which means you can get a chance to get away. So for me, that is the lesson I've heard over the years, that everywhere I go, I make myself useful. If I came to your church, people might think that I've been working there for some time because I get involved. I'll ask for responsibilities, and I'll be doing what I can to make myself noticed so that somebody can give me a chance. So when I left the village, I came to town, I fixed cars on the streets of Waise when I was 11 years old. And then one day, some guy came riding a moped to the garage. And I was like, this boy is like 17 years old. How can he own a motorcycle? I know you have them today in Uganda, we call them borders. There are many there. But in those days, they didn't exist. So because I could relate to this particular person, I asked him, what does he do? I joined him where he worked. But one of the lessons I pass on all the time, one, be useful. Two, when I worked at the garage, I did find out there were some skills that people got paid more. Those who worked on an engine, they were getting paid about half of what the guy actually wires the car gets paid. And this guy used to actually put a white coat on like a doctor. I remember asking him, how come you get paid double the amount of money and just you and the kid helping you, where there are 5 guys working on an engine, putting it together, and you got earning more than they do? That was another lesson. Some skills pays more than others. But when I joined the guy, he was selling cosmetic stuff. The guy's riding a moped. I noticed when I worked with him that he'd never going to let me make more money than he makes. So lesson 1, my dad told me to be useful. Lesson 2, when we were running away, I volunteered to be useful by go to a shop, buy goods low, sell them high. We made a profit and we used the money to buy food. So as I got older, I learned that profits are better than wages, because there's no limit how much you can make, but there's a limit how much money you can make in a wage format, because you only have 24 hours in a day. So when I came to work with this guy, I worked with him, then I learned that also if you work for someone else, he's never going to let you make more money. My story is quite long, but let me just stop there. I wanted to let my father let me stay in Kampala because my father wanted me to go back to Luelo. I told him, Dad, I can take care of myself. He said, no, you can't, need to come back. I told him, let me work. I take myself to school. But at the same time, I wanted to prove to me that I'm a man. I was 12 years old. I told the guy I was working with that if he can let me work more, make more money, build myself a small house, because from Luelo, if you have a house, you're a man. He said, okay, let's build my house first. When you finish mine, we start yours. We did his house like in a place called Kaleri somewhere in about 2 months. And I said, let's start mine. He said, hey, my brother, your house is my house. My house is your house. Why don't you have one room in my house? You don't have to have your own. You're a small kid. He didn't understand my reason was not to have a house for me. I wanted to prove to my father that I'm a man, so he can let me take care of myself. That was the lesson. Work for someone else. They won't let you make more than they make, not because they're bad people. That's how the world works. Can you imagine the Pope makes less money than number 2? Just imagine the president make less money than the vice president. It would be war. That's how the world works. So I made a decision. I'm going to have my little pyramid, my own life, my own business. So from today, what I teach every single person I meet, even if you're 5 years old or 100 years old, you are the chairman and CEO of your own life. So you are the owner of that life. But you need to understand, as my father told me, we get paid based on the value we bring to the market. There's one thing we all can do. We can choose to be better tomorrow than we are today. When I was working with this guy, I realized he won't let me make more money. So I started to make money on the side. I used to come in early, buy goods low, sell them high. I started to put money aside. And in that environment, this boy told me some lessons. One of the lessons was be accountable to what you do and who you do it with. So in that environment, I couldn't make more money with him. He couldn't let me go away. I saw people were bringing goods to our shop. For the first time, I started to notice who they are. I asked them, where do you get this stuff from? They said, from Dubai and London. I said, okay, London. So as I was turning around 14 years old, I raised enough money. I convinced more people who I worked for almost 6 months for free to believe that I'm a hard worker, that I'd be able to pull it off. And when I saw one of those girls bringing one of their brothers to the UK, I asked him, can somebody like me who doesn't speak English can come to the UK? He said, listen, I see Chinese people here, don't speak a word of English, they're here. Long story, you can get one of my 7 books. I have the story in there. I got on the plane and I came to the UK. In those days, you didn't need a visa. You needed to actually to prove that you were the person who you say you were, some money, and I got here. When I got here, culture shock was everybody works, everybody contributes. My message here is teach what you know. Teaching is marketing. I don't care how good you are at what you do. If the world doesn't know you, you don't exist. So one of the things I say, teach what you know, because we all know something, whether you're 5 years old or 100 years old, you know something. The key is, can you learn to share it with yourself so you can teach to the world, so the world get to know how good you are? Then the person, the responsibility is to you. The reason why the most people who impacted our world don't even know very much, because they just make one decision. I want to solve the biggest problems in the world. And I like you doctors and you young people, because you want to solve the biggest problems in the world. You don't need to know how they're going to be solved. You just need to decide that, hey, this is the problem I want to solve. And then when you stand up and raise your hand that I do this, people ask you questions. When they ask you a question, what do? You go and look for answers. Or you pay somebody to answer those questions on your behalf. That is how you get wealthy. Wealthy doesn't mean money in the bank. That's how you feel good about yourself, no matter how many challenges that happen in the world. You see, people going on about COVID and so on and so forth, as if COVID is the biggest challenge we face so far. Every 10 years, there's always a crisis. 2020, COVID. 2010, remember the financial crisis. Before that, what was that? 9/11. Before that, what happens? Iraq war. Before that, what happens? stock market crash. There's always something will affect you every 10 years. The question is, are you ready to make sure you can survive? And the survival starts from who you are, what you know, what you believe in, what you stand for, what problems can you solve? How are you going to solve them? Can you document what you know? Hence why my company is called Actionable Publishing. I say every single human being, I don't care when you're 10 years old, you must write what you know. Because when you decide to become a teacher, you grow. We don't teach because we help the people we're teaching. I'm not here because I'm helping you. I'm here because I'm learning. The more I deliver this, I get better. I get wiser. I get stronger. I become more competent. The leaders are teachers. And if I'm going to be a leader tomorrow who become wealthy, then I need to teach what I know. To teach what I know, I have to document it. When you document in a book that has value, one, you created a product, and two, you know how to structure it, and three, people can share it, and four, you can monetize on it, and five, the world can reach up to you and say, help me. We've just said, Africa, we have young people. There's no point of having young people who we can't give the right tools. And what also annoys me before I leave, I'm happy if I say something to disagree with, that's okay, these are my opinion. Are they right? No. Are they wrong? No, they're mine. I want to hear yours. So many people want to help young people, they can't even help themselves. Look in the mirror, ask yourself a question. What is it that you know? Do you see yourself one of the best at what you do? I don't care whether you're a cleaner or your mother or your teacher or your nurse or your doctor. You need to stand up as someone who does the best you do and let you document it. Let the world know that you cannot just do it in Uganda, but the rest of the world, because that's where we need. You see, the wealth is not coming to our country because we've not been seen as the people can control and hold that wealth. Primrose, after missing each other for so many years, I met her at the convention. I've been hosting the Ugandan convention here in the UK for the last 10 years. You see, everything they ask us at that convention, people want to invest in Uganda. Do you have a skilled workforce in Uganda? I say, yeah. But COVID caught me in Uganda in January 2020. I stayed in Uganda for the last 15 months. I just came back 2 months ago. Boy, we're kidding ourselves. No, we're not skilled. We need to do more. But skill does not mean just degrees. Skills means we need to let our people certify themselves for what they know. Let them go and learn, because 80% of everything that we know, we learn ourselves. 20% from formal education, 80%, self-education. So with that in mind, I'm going to leave it here because I know we have limited time, but at the same time, my name is Geoffrey Semaganda. I offer 7 books. It's all to do with every single business that I want to run. I write a book on it because I know for someone like me, who's a Ugandan from Uganda, competing these markets, the only way I can make them think that I know better is to publish them in the format that they understand. So I can compete with you educated people with PhDs and degrees and all that kind of stuff. Because I'm telling you, C students always employ A student, because one thing C students are good at, they're good at letting the world know that they're the one who want to solve a specific problem. So if we can let people know that you are good enough for who you are, let them make a decision to go look for answers for themselves. That's the only way we can impact our Africa. Thank you so much for your time. Unfortunately, it's a short space, but I'm always, if you can connect me on social media, we can always stay in touch. And I'm assuming this will be done another time. Primrose, thank you. I can take maybe a question if there is any, but I'll let someone else take over because I think I've taken more than 20 minutes.
Thank you. Any?
Yes, thank you so much, Geoffrey Semaganda, for wise words. I really learned so much. And just stepping in for Jason, we would like to have questions. If you have, type in the chat box or put up your hand and ask Henry, please. Let's be fast. Okay, maybe I'll
ask a question. Thank you so much, Mr. Semaganda.
He's raising his hand.
Thank you. I thought Primrose was still mentioning something. Could we allow her to fast finish?
Yeah, just a workshop. We're hoping to have a workshop in Uganda, and we hope to hear from you. And I hope we won't be stopped by COVID. So we'll communicate regarding that. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you, Prim.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Semaganda. It was glad hearing from you. It is really you hit the right nerve, if I may say. I've been trying to read about you because I think it's my first time to meet you personally. I'm called Ignatius. I'm a medical student at Makele, and I was on internet and I saw you've really done a lot of things all over the world, and I was really like, wow. So you are in the middle of such a big man. So I'm just curious to know if there are any particular books you have written about your exposure, your experience as a person, as a fellow Ugandan, which you would recommend any of us, the young professionals in the house, to go and read after here. Thank you.
Well, first of all, Primrose, for me, COVID doesn't affect me. I actually, COVID has been the blessing for me, because for the first time, I'm working 15 different markets in Africa. Before COVID, people will say, let's meet. After COVID, everybody now is on Zoom. So that's, first of all, that's good news. Second, I'm coming back to Uganda, to East Africa. We're building a huge team. I have an office now, set up a proper setup center in Kampala. So yes, I'll be back. The book I'll recommend you should read, the one I called The Wealthy Messenger, how to position, package, and promote yourself as one of the best at what you do. You see, as a medical doctor, I believe you need to start teaching what you're learning today. Okay? Whatever you do, start teaching what you're learning today. You know, for me, a teacher, they teach for the benefit of themselves to grow. If you can teach what you're learning, all of a sudden you become that person who basically, one, you're going to win more friends. Two, you're going to connect more people. And three, before you even go to apply for opportunities, you already been known. So teach what you know. If you go and ask a 10-year-old or a 7-year-old, then what you want to be? And that 7-year-old say, I want to be a doctor. And ask a 7-year-old, stand up like a doctor. What's going to happen? That child will stand up like a doctor. So walk like a doctor. They'll walk like a doctor. Clean your room like a doctor. They're looking at me like a doctor. So really what we need to do to understand that if we start teaching what we know, even what we're learning, this whole idea, you're waiting until somebody tells you you're good enough, the marketplace doesn't work like that. The marketplace is only interested in what you think you can do. Don't wait for someone else. So teach what you know, brother. And whether you're a student or a businessman or woman, please just teach what you know, because that's your ability to grow. And that story is what the marketplace basically understand and respect. And please, I'm thanking you because you guys, what you do is incredible. Wealth Messenger. My book should be available in Kampala as well soon, but Wealth Messenger on Amazon. And by the way, let me just finish this before I go. But also most importantly, please write your own book. Don't wait. Every single person write a book. The whole idea, you're going to spend years at university, and then after you finish, then you're going to get 3 pages. Okay, you're going to get 3 pages to send to an employer to tell that person to judge you in 3 pages. Judge your life in 3 pages. They call it a CV. It's the most ridiculous, crazy thing I've ever heard. How could you tell your story in 3 pages? Yes, have the 3 pages, because that's what basically uninformed people do. And then add it with a book around it. Let them know who you are, what you believe, what you stand for, where you're coming from, where you're going, how you got to where you are. That is what they need to know. They need to know everything about you, because people buy from people they know and people they get to trust. Trust takes time. This is what makes people know that you know what you're doing, even if you didn't. So read mine, but let me wait to read yours. With that in mind, guys, let me let someone else specially speak. Take care. Stay blessed. Samuel, I think, put the message in the quote in the chat. I'm sure I'll answer it, and I'll leave a video because I'm sure someone else wanted to speak. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Geoffrey. Before you go, you've talked about the skill set. Yes, sure. Mr. Geoffrey, are you still there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Yes, you've talked about the skill set, and part of our goals as MentorPoint Africa, we're trying to build capacities of these young health workers in any way that's possible. That's why we bring on board different multidisciplinary people to groom them in the different ways of life. Yeah. So What do you think we should be doing better next to get where we want to get? Thank you.
Brother, you're already doing great. I mean, the good thing about Zoom is that made life easier. We can start the process. There's no one thing good or better. You start and things just evolve as you go forward. You know, don't let somebody tell you do better or worse. You know what you need to do. You're the one set this up. You see what you think you need to improve. You see, one of the rules I live by, I mean, I know this might not sound right to some of you. I don't listen to noise. Okay, because what happens? Everybody tell you what you should do when they don't even know why you set this up in the first place. My message to you, please, you look at what you think, sit down with your team, say what you should do. But one thing I would say, whatever you do, document it. Anything that's not documented doesn't exist. Everything I've said here, the only reasons have any meaning because you recorded it. Beyond that, it should be forgotten. A contract that's not documented doesn't exist. Knowledge that don't document it doesn't exist. Some of us want the marketplace to value us, but the marketplace doesn't know who we are. And it doesn't know who we are when you put things in our heads. We need to let the world know, and it's easier today. So my message to you, you're doing great. Please just document everything that you do. Have a track record so you can show this event and next one and next one. The rest will take care of itself. And thank you so much for the invite. And for some of you, if I say something you disagree with, hey, listen, this is my opinion. It's not right. It's not wrong. They're just mine. I want you to have your own, because those who give their opinions, they're the leaders. Those who don't talk, they're the followers. Stay safe and stay healthy. So, Brother Solomon, I like when people put the cameras on. By the way, also one thing I need to leave you with. Never ever be on Zoom, apart from you don't have MBs, in Uganda call them MBs. You should never ever be on Zoom and not on camera. Because every single day we're selling ourselves. So some of you, I don't know who you are. I can't see you, I can't tell. So if you can't start selling yourself from today, forget about being the best doctor, the best experts out there, because people don't buy from people they don't know. People buy from people they know, but they get to trust. If you have the camera, you hear, might as well be in the presence. Turn your camera on, let people see who you are, start building relations from today. That's maybe the one thing I recommend. Do be on Zoom without being seen, because you're missing the opportunity, people around the world to see who you are. And if you can't be seen, don't worry. God apparently loves you, but the marketplace doesn't care.
Thank you. You can help people with your social media in the chat. People want to follow you. Yeah.
Facebook,
they're really energized.
Facebook is the best. I'm going to type my name. Facebook, Geoffrey Semaganda. I spell my name with single S, not double S, single S. Geoffrey Semaganda. I can type that in here. I'm going to do a webinar, which I do every Sunday on the same subject. Again, my message is Primrose is here. You have Primrose, you send Primrose the detail. Primrose knows where I am. And if you want to get in touch with me, Primrose, you can type my name, my email address, my full name with a single S, but that's it. But you want me, this lady here, she's been incredible. I don't even have her book here because she's also published a book. That's why she's my friend. If you have not published a book, we can't be friends, because it means you don't know anything. If you don't know anything, the world doesn't care. So why should I be your friend? You know, I mean, but she published a book, and that's why we're friends, because she has a responsibility to teach what she knows. Now, I'm not saying if you don't have a book, we're not friends. I'll sell you some stuff, because even people who are not my friend can buy stuff. But if you want us to collaborate and partner, do business together, please let me know what you do and who you are and what you stand for and where you're going. Then we can work together. Life is too short. Man, Solomon, I understand you're going to speak. I apologize to 18th your time, brother.
You. I don't have to speak today. I'll just rather listen to you.
No. Let me basically go, and thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe, stay healthy. I hope those in Uganda, come and see me in my office in Ntinda Complex Apartment at the Penthouse. You can always send me an email. I'm more than happy to invite you. I'll be in Uganda in the middle of next month. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Geoffrey.
Thank you, Mr. Geoffrey. Yeah, right now we go straight to our second speaker, who is a neurosurgeon at Iowa, Masiwan. And he has served in a number of leadership positions as a student at Mbarara University. He was also a guild president in 2002, 2003, was a guild speaker,